Verse 16, this is God talking to Eve. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception, and sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. And this is the key part. And thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Right there, in that last half of verse 16 of chapter 3 of Genesis and beginning of the Bible, God called the gender wars from the very beginning. He said, this is what's going to happen. But this was the curse. Remember that. Mm-hmm. This was not God's original intention.
This was the result of the fall. This is the result of both man and woman being disobedient.
Yeah, this is the result of sin. So sin nature brought in division between a man and a wife. See, one thing you called out to me that I never noticed before, but you said when God came to Adam and asked him, where are you and did you eat the fruit? The first thing he did was accuse his wife. And you told me that was the first divorce. Mm-hmm. Right there, that first division between man and woman. And Adam didn't have to do that. He could have stayed on the same page with his wife. They could have taken responsibility together. He could have taken all responsibility as the leadership in that scenario. But he didn't. And so you had a divide. Mm-hmm. When Adam himself has said, this is now bone of my bones. This is chapter 2, verse 23. Flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of a man. And then the law of marriage was created. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. That was where they were supposed to stop. But in that moment, he stopped cleaving and divided. And so now we had this war between men and women. And God said, what's going to happen is men are going to rule over their wives. Mm-hmm. That was not his design. That was not God's intention. But that's what took place. And so whenever you see cultures and societies perpetuating this endless cycle of men dominating women and women being unequal and having to fight for their rights and trying to fight, it seems like we can't ever get anywhere. It doesn't seem like we're ever making any progress. That's why. And you will never succeed. You will never make progress unless you get back into God's original garden design. Now, God's original garden design had an element of submission, but it did not have this element of subjugation and slavery. That came from the curse. God created submission, but the curse, the fall of man, created subjugation and equality.
The sad thing about the fall is that when that happened and the division came, and then women became subjugated to a man's authority, for lack of a better term, we no longer celebrated the difference between male and female and honored it and worked within the strength of being a man or a male or the strength of being a woman or female. Because now we got women trying to be men, trying to prove a point, trying to prove the equality. Now you got men trying to be women. You know, it's just all jacked up, all out of order. When if man had not have fallen, we would have been able to be equal because God made Eve equal with Adam. She had the same authority, the same power, the same rights as he did, but she had a different role based off of how God created her. And it was to continue to make the garden strong, like make Adam and Eve strong. She was never weak.